So being in the student ministry really gave us some training where we could, properly discern life and really make the right decision in situations. And it provided a lot of structure and opportunities where we could take that training and really find out, does life actually work this way? One training point that has really stood out to me over the years is this idea of being open-handed. And I moved down to Texas from Colorado in between my 8th grade and freshman year, and as you all know, that's already a really hard transition to make, but I was moving to a new state, new climate, and I actually had moved down to Texas 2 weeks before the rest of my family had, and was living with strangers in a new school. I was playing football, which I'd never done anything like that before, and so a lot of hard things and new things all at once. And post high school, my sister and I were going on a trip, and just kind of as a graduation thing, and we were really looking forward to climbing Devil's Tower. That was kind of going to be our graduation present and our kind of last hoorah after high school. And as we were driving into Wyoming to go do this thing, I get a call from my dad, and some circumstances have changed, and it was starting to look like that we might not actually get to do what we came there to do. And I really just kind of lost it and kind of went on a rant on how unfair that was, and we had come all this way for that, and I really had my hand wrapped around these expectations, and was really disappointed in that and was expressing that, and actually caught myself and realized, oh, I've had my hand wrapped around these expectations. I'm not being very open-handed right now. And so I had learned enough that I was able to identify that I wasn't being open-handed and then adjust so that I could continue to be open-handed with that. And then about maybe a year later after that, I was really trying to figure out what my next step in life was. And at that time, I had the opportunity to move to Oklahoma, be a part of some things that were happening there, and I was really trying to figure out what I should do. And because I had learned about this idea of being open-handed and had been able to practice and apply it, I really got to do that in this situation and was able to make a wise decision and ended up staying in Texas. And if I hadn't done that, I might not be here with my wife right now, and so that's just been a big win for me to be able to apply that just throughout high school and then really post high school. And now I'm able to stand on those past experiences where I've been able to apply being open-handed, where I have really seen God work through that, and I can now look back on those things as I'm going through harder and bigger things. I can see how God has come through as I've chosen to be open-handed. Now, as a husband and a soon-to-be father, I can stand on those past experiences where I have really seen the reality of God and His goodness, and I can look back on those things when I'm faced with bigger and harder challenges. And right now, we're having to walk through the biggest and hardest thing yet. And just in this past year, we've had to walk through 2 miscarriages, and that's been very hard. But it's been very hard, and Amy's now pregnant with our 3rd child, and that pregnancy is going really well so far. And even if we were to lose this child, we would still continue to trust in God and move forward with an open hand, because we know and we've experienced that God is not going to rip us off. And we know because God's word and His promises, they're not only true, but they're very real.